Guys, have you heard about Rueben Bain's off-field story? Because honestly, this is something we need to talk about. Cowboys Nation has been extremely high on him, and the buzz is real. He could be the pick at 12 or even 20. But now the real debate is, should the Cowboys still go after him after this off-field drama? And if they don't, who else is even on the table? Let's deep dive. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let me just get straight into it, because this Rueben Bain story has been floating around draft circles for a minute now, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page about what's actually going on here. I mean, when you first hear off-field stuff, your brain immediately goes to the worst possible place, right? Like, oh no, what did he do? And is that so serious? What about his draft stock? But guys, this thing is different. Honestly, I am thanking God for this. The reality of this situation is a lot more nuanced than what the headlines might make you think. So here's what actually happened. Rueben Bain was the driver in a car wreck a couple of years ago. He was cited at the time for operating a motor vehicle in a careless or negligent manner. That's legal language, guys. That's literally just how they write it up. And that charge, it was dismissed 2 weeks after the wreck. Gone. No criminal charges hanging over his head right now, none. But here's the part that makes it genuinely heavy. One of the people in that car was in a coma and later passed away. And honestly, that's just awful. That's a tragic situation no matter how you look at it. Now, I've also seen that there was a statement from the family, and from what's been reported, it doesn't sound like a civil suit situation is coming, especially with draft day approaching and Bain about to have some real money. So as of right now, the full picture is that Rueben Bain was involved in a car wreck, someone tragically lost their life, he wasn't charged with anything, and the case was closed. That's it. There could be some more details that trickle out as we get closer to draft day, some league sources have hinted at that, but right now, that's what we've got. So the real question is, does this change anything football-wise? Honestly, no. I mean, look, most of us have been in an accident at some point in our lives. Some were our fault, some weren't. That alone is not a character red flag to me. The results of what happened are devastating, and you have to respect that. But Rueben Bain getting in a car wreck does not make him a bad person or a bad character guy. People in draft circles have known about this for a while now, and he's still sitting right where he was on most boards. I'm still comfortable with the idea of Dallas taking him, and I'm talking about a player who I genuinely believe has some of the best college tape you're going to find in this entire class. I mean, you want to compare him to someone? Think Jared Verse. Same kind of tenacious, angry, strong pass rusher energy. Now, yeah, Bain is going to have the shortest arms of any first-round prospect, probably ever, but when you look at what he does on the field, it doesn't matter. If the Cowboys had the chance to grab Rueben Bain at 12 and the off-field situation stays where it is right now, you do it. He'd be your best pass rusher on day one. You don't pass on that kind of talent. And if anything, the short arm thing and now this story might actually create enough noise that he slides a little. I mean, if somehow you're getting him at 20, that's insane value. That's the kind of pick that makes you look like a genius 2 years down the road. Now, let's say all of this noise does affect things and Dallas ends up looking elsewhere. What are the options? Because you know me, I've been watching tape, I've been paying attention, and there are some names out there that nobody's really talking about that I think deserve some serious attention. Right, so first name I want to bring up, Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. Real talk, this dude does not get enough shine. He is a legit 6'1" cornerback over 190 pounds, and the feet on this guy are just different. Some of the most fluid hips you're going to find in this entire draft class. The only real knock on him is that he hasn't been tested consistently against top-tier competition. That's it. But when you go back and really watch his tape, and I mean really watch it, even when the moments where he gets beat, he's never out of position. You know how many times we watched our guys just completely lose their assignment? Johnson doesn't do that. He has that Christian Gonzalez kind of feel, where his technique is just so dialed in that even when a receiver gets a step on him, he's right there at the catch point. I have him as my CB4 in this class, and honestly, at pick 20, if he's there, that pick is probably just fine. Now, here's another name that I think is starting to feel more real the closer we get to draft day, Colton Hood. And look, I know this might sound a little surprising, but stay with me. When you go back and really watch Hood's tape, this guy has some of the best press man coverage ability in this entire class. He's physical, he's chippy, he competes after every rep. His ceiling is legitimately the kind of corner who can take away an entire side of the field. He's not going to wow you with elite athleticism, and if you put a pure route runner on him, you might have some issues. But if you want a corner who is going to get in someone's face and just fight him every play, Colton Hood is your guy. You want someone guarding a big physical receiver like A.J. Brown? That's Hood. I have him as my CB4, and honestly, this feels like a pick that could happen at 20 that nobody's really prepared for. And here's one more name that I want to throw out there. Caden McDonald, the Ohio State defensive tackle. Hear me out on this one. I know, pick 20 on a nose tackle sounds wild, but if you want a guy that teams simply cannot move, that's McDonald. He's not going to give you sacks, maybe one by accident, but he's the kind of nose tackle that fights through double teams and still ends up making the tackle. You put McDonald next to Kenny Clark, and now Clark doesn't have to play nose tackle all night. Now he can be everywhere. And all of a sudden, teams cannot run the football at you. They cannot line up in 12 personnel and try to bully Dallas with inside zones. That's just not happening anymore. The defense becomes a completely different animal. And speaking of the secondary, you know I have to circle back to Jamad McCoy. Look, I would take McCoy at 12 in a heartbeat if Mansour Delane is gone. The medical situation is really the only thing that gives me pause. I'm not the one holding the MRI, so I can't pretend I know what's in there. But the tape? Comfortable. The workout I've seen from him? Comfortable. A guy who could give you a Stephon Gilmore-type career at corner at 12? Absolutely comfortable. And I'll say this, I'd be sick if Dallas passed on him and we looked up 5 years from now and McCoy is the lockdown corner we desperately needed. You don't want to live with that. You know what else nobody's really talking about? Left tackle. I mean, everyone's been so focused on the secondary and edge that the offensive line conversation is kind of faded into the background. But look, Caden Proctor out of Alabama is a name worth bringing up here. Dude started the season at over 370 pounds and trimmed down to around 350 by the end of it. When he's right in pass protection, he is a bulldozer with an anchor. The concern is the feet. Inside moves from good athletes can give him trouble. But if you sit down with him and you find out that this is his passion, that he wakes up every morning locked in on football, then those are the kind of things that a great offensive line coach can develop. And right now, it looks like Dallas has exactly that kind of coaching setup. If you're convinced he's your left tackle for the next 5 years on a rookie deal, you don't kill that pick at 20. Nobody's really running that idea up the flagpole right now, but I think it's worth having in your back pocket. So, bottom line, Rueben Bain's story is real, it's heavy, and it deserves to be treated with care. But it is not a reason to cross him off the board. And beyond Bain, there are legitimate options at both 12 and 20 that nobody's really putting on their radar. The draft is right around the corner, guys. This is the fun part. Stay locked in, keep watching the tape, and let's see how this all shakes out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know who you want Dallas to take. Let's talk about it.